Guy who opened up my eyes the most in terms of just watching game film, Smelter. He just plows people. I used to play O-line in high school, so I appreciate any receiver that can just destroy a DB in run blocking. Hey, and I'd love to see him put Sherman on his ass. I'd love to see that. I'd pay to see that.
I think the biggest knock on Baalke what people had was that he drafted some of these players too early. And if I'm not mistaken, Bill Walsh said it doesn't matter where you pick them as long as you get your guy that can help you win.
Are you listening? Damn.
Yeah. Niner fam, it's June. Yeah. We have June, July, August. That's 3 months. It's like being in county for 90 days with a big party celebration coming up right after. And the OTAs. Have you heard the names? Dante Johnson, Keith Reeser. Oh, and I knew it was going to happen. Quentin Patton is going to make his debut this year. He's going to sparkle. Wait, let me give you another name. Brandon Thomas on that offensive line, all receiving high praises. And guess who's in sync? Yes, indeed, our boys Cap Vernon Davis. Ooh. I'm feeling so good about the future. It's getting so bright we may have to start wearing shades. You know what though? I want to talk about that a little bit more next time because I'm waiting for the OTAs and everything else to finish up a little bit this week or next. And then let's while it all settles down, let's talk about it. I got a couple other guys that want to talk a little bit more about the drafts that we just picked up recently. So we'll do that first, and then we'll talk about that other stuff. Let's get on over to the Niner Cam right now. Are you ready to talk some football? 49er fans, we got a lot of things going on right now, but first, let's talk about the pleasantries. Let me introduce my boys right now. Guys, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Niner Empire. This is Bashar from San Jose, California. Longtime 49er fan. Go Niners.
Hey, I'm Gage, and I'm from Alabama. I don't really have anything to say.
but you will. Guys, the draft is already... We'll be talking about the draft probably for weeks to come until we get right into camp. But guys, it's time to hand out some grades. What did you think of what Trent did in this particular draft? And if you have any negativity, go right ahead. It's okay. It's being honest. What do you feel? Gage, let's start with you.
I give him a B. Can't give him a B plus because he missed out on getting a middle linebacker. Now, I don't think the middle linebacker class was that deep in this draft, but even still, that's where we took the hardest hits, and you got to find some way to at least add depth in that position. One thing I do like is he stocked up on a lot of potential talent that we don't exactly need for next year, and he also stocked up on positions that, if I'm not mistaken, we will be losing or potentially losing next year due to expiring contracts. Picked up tight end, Vernon Davis is going to expire, Bolden's going to expire, Boone, Philip Dawson's kicker is going to expire, and the punter that everybody griped for Baalke picking up in the 5th round, yeah, he also kicks like 62-yard field goals, so we might see him do that. We picked up, we added depth on the line with the first pick in Armstead. He's more of a high ceiling type player. I don't expect a lot from him the first year. And then we picked up Eli Harold, who was a first-round talent. Not sure why he dropped. Nobody really is, but good edge rusher to come off, and should see that pass rush increase next year. I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, Bashar, you're up, man.
All right, so after this guy, the next coming of Mel Kiper, or should I say Mike Mayock? I don't know. Just kidding. All right, he's got his stuff down. He watches college football. So I'd say B-. I like to be a little conservative, with the draft. On a personal standpoint, I was a wide receiver fanboy. If you saw my previous video with Ronbo, I was all like Darrell Green Beckham and, deep threat. With that said, I do like the Armstead pick. It took me a while to warm up to him, but the good thing was I knew who he was prior to us picking him, and I had a feeling that we might possibly take him. I thought it may have been a smokescreen, but eventually we got him anyway. So I was like, okay, cool. He's got the rare size and talent, and they say when he gets low, he's super explosive. It's just a matter of him to be getting low off the stance on a consistent basis. So the Niners, hey, we coach up D linemen better than most teams in the league. I do strongly believe that. The other picks, of course, round 2 got me, because round 2 I was like, okay, let's get a receiver. Let's get Doyle Green Beckham. Let's get Jalen Strong. Let's get somebody. Let's get a receiver. I want a playmaker. I want to score some touchdowns. I know we can play defense. I want to score some damn touchdowns. Charles Haley comes up. The second pick is Jaquiski Tartt. I was like, what? Who's that? I had no idea. I was taking that name. I was like, what are we doing here? But I saw his video, so I was like, okay, whoa, he can hit. He can knock people out. So, hey, in the secondary, Eric Reed. I hate to say I love the guy, but he has concussion issues, and then if it's going to be a major issue, at least we might have some insurance policy there. So, in that case, I am kind of okay with the pick. Eli Harold. To me, he looks like a poor man's Jadeveon Clowney. I don't want to give him, I don't want to overrate him, but just the way he comes around that corner and just the way he's built, the body type. I mean, I'm like, how did this guy last until the 3rd round? I never knew who the guy was, but I watched the video. I was like, whoa, he comes off the corner like a Tasmanian devil. It's unbelievable. Mike Davis. Then again, I didn't really watch South Carolina Gamecocks. That's going to be my next thing. I'm going to watch college football this upcoming season. I'm going to watch the Gamecocks as much as I possibly can, because God knows we'll probably draft 3 or 4 guys out of there next year. So that looks like a decent pick. Hey, more running backs to merrier. Really quick, who else? Oh, we did get a receiver at one point. DeAndre Smelter. I had no idea who the guy was, but rare size and speed combo, huge hands. The ACL thing threw me off. I was like, oh, great, another ACL guy. Wow, whoop-de-doo, But when I watched him, I was like, you know what? He looks like a rare talent. I'm willing to wait and be patient for this guy. He may be a number 1 diamond in the rough type receiver that we've been waiting for. So who knows?
No, don't give away too much, because you know what we're doing in a few minutes. We're going to do it right now. You see, because the thing is, you guys are doing exactly, you pretty much represent the entire Niner Empire that came into that draft with anticipation of a whole lot of other things other than what Trent did. And this is why I'm thinking I'm going to give Trent a B as well, only because even as what Trent did, he could have went a little higher level. Now, I realize in the first round, if you're going to go defense, yes, Arik Armstead was probably the best guy to put on the defensive line. Maybe not, but that's why I go with B. And everything else he did, I figure he's got some kind of in-depth way of finding out the potential on some of these players, because it seems our defense never fails to come up with some gems. Who knew? You guys remember last year? Was Chris Borland a superstar in your mind? Did you know anything about Chris Borland before last year?
I mean, I didn't know.
Nah, not really. He was what, a fourth round pick?
You see, there you go. Yeah. And also, who knew about the lynch mob? And look at that boy now.
Oh yeah.
You see, so I've learned to trust Trent. Let's see what he did, guys. Now, for the fun of playing GM, we're going to go within Trent Baalke's picks and pick out the guys that we would honestly take. Let's say we represent other teams, maybe even the 49er farm system. We want to go in and pick out some of these guys that Trent has picked out. We want to put them on our ball club that we know are going to make us a winner. And let's go right back where we started. Let's go with you, Gage.
Just the guys that we drafted that I think will make us a winner are some of the late round picks like Silberman, because he came from one of the reasons he dropped down is that he came from a run first play action college, and not many NFL teams are doing that. But hey, guess what? That's what we've been told that we're going back to next year, and everything that has been done in this offseason in accordance with the offense seems to be they were telling the truth on that. Silberman was a run first guard. I think his name's Trent Brown was the next one taken. Dude's like 59 pounds or so. He's huge. That's a monster. And the free agency right after the draft picked up a guard from Auburn. They were a very run first team last year, or ever since Gus Malzahn's been there. The wide receivers we picked up in free agency, Drez Anderson, he can run block. The one we drafted, Smelter, he can run block very well. I really am looking forward to seeing that. But the players I think are going to make the biggest impact, as far as next year, the ones I would choose, I think Tartt will see some time, Harold will see some time, and Armstead. It's not very creative to go with the first 3 picks, I know, but it's just that's true. I also look forward to seeing Marcus Rush out there, a lineman out of Michigan State. And if I had to choose another one, Anderson might see some playtime. Drez Anderson.
All right. I like your picks myself. Yes. Bashar, who's on your team, man?
Yes. Okay, so you're saying that if I can pick up, I mean, out of the guys we drafted, who I think is going to excel the most, or who did I want from other teams?
Because what this represents is, this is pretty much the feeling of the entire Niner Empire. You can pretty much believe that. Because, as I say, it seems like everybody's on the same page. So go ahead. Don't hold back.
Okay, so out of the guys we picked up, honestly, the guy who opened up my eyes the most in terms of just watching game film, Smelter. I mean, Gage mentioned earlier, the guy can run block his tail off. I mean, he just plows people. I used to play O-line in high school, so I appreciate any receiver that can just destroy a DB in run blocking. Hey, and I'd love to see him put Sherman on his ass. I'd love to see that. I'd pay to see that. And, you know, I mentioned Smelter earlier. He's got big hands. He's got the big playability. That's what gets me excited. What else? As far as the other Eli Harold, hey, Alden Smith gets hurt, Lynch gets hurt throwing Eli Harold, or those guys get tired throwing Eli Harold and bring him off the rush. I guarantee our pass rush probably does not skip a beat. At least I'm crossing my fingers. On film, he looks great. Who else? Honestly, out of the other guys we picked, I'll throw in a dark horse. A lot of people were kind of iffy on this pick, but I think I see something special in him. Just for the fact that he played tight end only 1 year. I'm talking about Blake Bell. I mean, I barely watched the guy. I barely knew who he was. But, I mean, for somebody who's saying, oh, I mean, there's all this criticism towards him. Oh, he only played tight end 1 year. He used to be a quarterback. Oh, why the 49ers draft him? Blah, blah, blah. I saw the guy run on his film, and when he was a quarterback, he was running by people, running through people. He does not look slow on film. He does not look slow. He's got a good body type that they can work with. They can build him into a classic tight end. We actually have a pretty good tight end coach, Tony Soprano. A lot of people say Tony Soprano. They get those two mixed up, but you know, Tony Soprano is a great tight end, a pretty good tight end coach, maybe great. I hear he used to coach Witten, so. You know, when we put some beef on Blake Bell, he's got a really good body type. Maybe he could be our second tight end. Maybe he could beat out Vance McDonald, or maybe Vance McDonald could be more encouraged to step up and be the mini Gronk that he could possibly be. So that's my dark horse candidate, Blake Bell. I like what I see of him. He just runs through people. I like that.
You and me both, bro. Gonna tell you what, guys, and I'm pretty much along the same lines, which is very interesting because I picked Armstead just because I believe he could be a game changer. If they can train him to be the menacing machine that he looks like he can be, there is nothing any offensive line in the league can do with that dude. Now, they say they're going to put him on a program to build him up. The man is 6'7". He's 300 pounds now. He looks lean to me. What if they beef him up? He goes 315 of nothing but solid rock coming at you like a madman. He's got athleticism too. Who's going to stop him? That now releases the rest of our defense. Bowman can have a field day now because everybody else is tied up with there. But what if Tank Carradine and some of those other guys develop like we expect?
Yeah.
That is the game changer right there. Also with Jaquiski, nowadays, your base defense is going to include all your packages. You can't come out there anymore without a package. Everybody's out there doing the West Coast offense or something similarity to it. That means you need a guy that can play from side to side and back up that linebacker line and come in there and make that hit. Jaquiski gets carried away. I'm a little concerned. They say the book on him is he is so into complete annihilation on every play, he sometimes misses a hit. They'll straighten that out. I'm sure they will. Eli Harold, another game changer. Just like you said, Bashar, that man comes off. They say this dude can come off. And sometimes his only knock is he comes off that line like a cannon. The only thing is, he sometimes over pursues. You have that problem with that kind of a player, but I'd rather have that than he's too lazy and can't get there.
That's right. Actually, what they were saying was, a really quick to interject, one thing they said about Armstead were that they got to teach him how to do is that he kind of gets off the line a little slow sometimes. He never jumped offside, so it's like the reverse with him. So
right. My thing that worries me with Armstead is is actually his height. That's what everybody is intrigued about. Okay. That's what I'm worried about, because how are you going to keep your pad level low? What are you going to do about getting leverage? I know that he obviously made it through fine in college, but he's a physical freak. A lot of these players we got are just physically freaks. I don't know how else to say it. I'm like average height, so that's what they look like to me. I was just also going to give out a shout out to Tartt, man. If I'm not mistaken, Mobile native, went to Samford. That's right in Birmingham. That's like 30 minutes from me. I was kind of proud to see a small school guy from here get picked that high.
So were you excited when they announced his name? Because I didn't know who he was. You probably know him firsthand.
I was. Actually, I went to school with a couple people that ended up playing ball there, and so I was kind of excited to hear that. And like I said, I don't like know him personally or anything, but it's just not far off from knowing him, I guess, a couple people away.
Okay, cool.
Dude, I got to tell you guys, though, and the Belldozer, another guy in my camp, I'm telling you right now, just like Bashar said, the big man can run, guys. I was watching those clips and seeing him coming down the field. Can you imagine, you guys who play ball, can you imagine you're in the secondary? Let's say here, he's already busted through the interior line. Here he comes, 252 pounds, 6'6", knees turning like, you know, if you make the mistake, don't hit him around the ankles, they're going to be carrying you off the field, man.
we have two guys like that now, because not only did we draft Blake Bell, but in the undrafted free agency, we got Isaac Blakeney from Kentucky, and he was 6'6", 225, played. They didn't really know where to put him, I guess, or he's just super athletic. I don't really know why, but he went from tight end to defensive end to safety to wide receiver to cornerback, then back to wide receiver. So obviously he has experience everywhere and some kind of talent. They just need to know where to put him.
God, see, it's always nice to have more talent that you can use, because when you look at Bell, he can also take snaps. The imagination of the offensive coaching staff has got to be thinking, now we can do this, and we might be able to do this as well. Teams can't prepare for that, guys. I can't wait to see how this develops.
Yeah, the way they used him in college, like Tebow in the goal line, was exceptional. I'd love to see him do that on our team.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I expect from him. He's a Tebow that's willing to change positions.
There you go. Exactly.
There it is.
Exactly. It's exactly what it is.
Well, guys, give me some closing arguments on why we've done a good job on this particular draft this year.
Well, I think the biggest knock on Baalke, what people had, was that he drafted some of these players too early. And if I'm not mistaken, Bill Walsh said it doesn't matter where you pick them as long as you get your guy that can help you win. I think the one thing he did good with this draft is he set us up for a lot of flexibility if that comes with, trading players, cutting players, let them go after their contract expires. We're set to be fine if anything like that happens. We added depth on defense. That's been the calling card. It'll continue being the calling card. I'm so sick and tired of someone saying, well, why didn't we get a corner? I can't stand that. We have like 8 of them on the roster that we haven't even seen yet. Give it some time. Let it develop.
Bashar?
All right, so Matt Mayoko kind of interjected this too, if you guys follow him. What Baalke does is he sets things up, kind of what Gage was saying, for things that may happen in the future. He kind of drafts for need a year ahead. So we may not get excited about these picks this year, but come, when these guys materialize next year, these guys will be ready, and they will fill a need before it becomes a need. How about that? How's that sound?
Good to me.
Yeah, and hey, honestly, I think we're gonna have like a top 5 defense for like the next, I'd say, 3 years with the guys we picked up. Assuming they pan out, got my fingers crossed on that. But it looks like we're gonna be set on defense for quite some time.
I like that, guys.
Man, if I could add one more thing real quick, cornerback and receiver was the 2 things that people wanted the most. I hope people realize that the receivers we got, even the ones that were not drafted that we picked up, most of them were not drafted, or at least 2 or 3 of them were, because of injuries. And we don't need these guys to play immediately. Smelter dropped because of injuries. Anderson dropped because of injuries. DeAndre White dropped because of injuries. These guys were all picked to be drafted, or even drafted higher than they were if they were drafted, but injuries let them down. We have the ability to let these guys rest, recover, learn under the wing, and then come in, 2016, late in the season, or even just start the next season, and then we'll get to see what they can do. They're good talent.
It's the Trent Baalke formula for success. Remember, Frank Gore came in under the same condition.
Oh, yeah.
Bashar, Gage, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. Remember, you can come down in the comments and talk about what these guys just talked about or what we just talked about and leave your comments. They'll be right on over to acknowledge you. Niner Nation, or should I say Empire, excuse me, but it has something to do with what I'm going to say next. The reason I want you to meet these guys is
We are one nation, indivisible, under the golden red, with the power to knock the opposition dead.
remember that. You got to repeat that next week. Count me up out of here.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.